Well, y'all, two-piece podcast. We are back in the seat, but I'm in a different seat today. You know, I'm normally at our regular location, having some fun, shades on my head, drink in hand, all that, ready for the shenanigans. But today is a very special day, very exclusive day. It's going to be very, I can't even find the word, but I'm just going to say hashtag new era of excellence. This is what today is about. I'm excited about it. Couldn't sleep last night. Couldn't figure out how to sleep last night. But I wanted to start the show off by a post that I made on June 21st, 2023. And it said, hello, hello, knock, knock, knock. Is this thing on? Clears my throat. And it says, when a Charleston, South Carolina, wait, let me be clear, a graduate of the Burke High School, class of 1992, graduate of the Johnson C. Smith University, class of 1996, becomes the 15th president of her and my alma mater, and the second woman that will sit at the helm to guide this university. It's nothing but blessings, blessings over blessings. 244 President Street produces excellence. So today, y'all, overwhelmed, overjoyed, I got Dr. Valerie Kinloch here, y'all. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Soror Gamma Delta born.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Charleston, South Carolina, Burke High School, Johnson C. Smith University. Our paths have always crossed.
Always.
And I'm so excited.
And let's start neighborhoods.
Yes, indeed. Let's do it.
5-minute walk down the street.
I am so happy to be here.
Welcome. So for some of my followers who may not know you, some of my followers that do know you, tell us who you are.
I'm Valerie Kinloch. I'm Valerie. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, born and raised. I come from working class family members. I come from an extended family of people who love me, nurtured me, and always wanted the best for me. And I am here right now as your 15th president of Johnson C. Smith University, 100 Beatties Ford Road, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28216.
That's always remember that address.
Let me tell you.
Everybody will give you that address just like that.
Yes, indeed.
So I just want to jump straight in. Can I call you Valerie?
You sure can.
Okay. But of course, it's Madam President out in public, but this is a little personal. Someone will call her Valerie. So you gave a great introduction. You started in Charleston.
Yes.
Born and raised. Geechee girl.
Yes, indeed.
Charleston County School District.
Yes.
Went to the only black high school.
Burke High School.
The #1 home of the Bulldogs.
President Street.
244 President Street, 29403. You know that address too. Going to Burke. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Going to Burke High School?
Yeah, of course.
From a student perspective?
Yes.
It's amazing. You know,
Why?
I was a shy, tall, skinny girl from Donovan Avenue in Charleston. Have 2 older brothers. Have a father who did not graduate from high school. Have a mother who wanted to be a mathematics teacher, and she became a licensed practical nurse in the segregated South. Going to Burke High School, I didn't realize at the time what it meant. Once I got there to Burke High School, once I actually became a student, this is what going to Burke High School meant and what it still means. Black excellence, black joy, black imagination and creativity. Having people, primarily black folks, and not exclusively, because there are some white teachers that we had at Burke High School.
Lots of white teachers.
But everyone was grounded in the belief that black kids, like me and like you, could do anything in the world. And now to actually have graduated from Burke in 1992 and to continue at an HBCU.
Correct.
I mean, what else is there in this world?
So what made you choose Johnson C. Smith to attend as a student.
All right, so let me be honest.
Talk
You
about
might
it.
have had this experience. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, let's
but
see.
there were so many people going to South Carolina State University.
Yes.
And no offense to South Carolina State in Orangeburg, South Carolina, too close to home. Too many people were going there. I wanted an HBCU experience, and I would have applied to South Carolina State, but I applied to Johnson C. Smith, received a pamphlet in the mail, read about Johnson C. Smith. It's history to Charleston and to Black life in Charleston.
Sure.
The alum who graduate from JCSU and who stay committed and connected, and who happen to also be from Charleston, South Carolina, I felt like I didn't have a choice.
Sure.
And then when I came here, just what else is there to say? I came
Family.
here, family,
Quick.
connectedness, long-time friendships, people who believe that we can do anything in the world.
Correct.
And I got all of that from Burke High School and from Johnson C. Smith University.
Right. Now, we're going to circle back to my friends. South Carolina State, we love you.
We love you.
We love you.
Yes,
Home
we do.
of the Bulldogs again. Marching 101, we love you. But South Carolina State was like going from high school to an overnight high school.
Yes.
Because about 50%
At least.
or 60% of all of our graduating classes went there or Claflin.
Yes, indeed.
And maybe
Benedict
College of
here or
Charleston.
there.
Benedict here or there.
But College of Charleston.
Yeah, College of Charleston, because that was right there. So South Carolina State was a lot of everybody trying to, they go there because it's close to home.
Yes.
But then us, we want to get out because we've seen South Carolina State. We've been to South Carolina State. We
Yes.
know people, you know. And again, we love South Carolina State. I cheer for South Carolina State all the time.
All the time.
Love it. Love to see the 101. I get excited like I see my high school band. So leaving Charleston,
Yep.
coming to Johnson C. Smith, matriculating here, getting that same feeling. During your 4 years here, what did you do?
What did I do?
How did you feel? And then when you graduated?
So I remember being dropped off. I remember being dropped off by my mother and my father. And not just like, you're here, bye, we're leaving. But I remember when they brought me here, and I toured the campus. I knew a few people who were coming here with me. But when I came here, I saw part of the world that I thought I had seen, but I hadn't really seen. So, you know,
Expound on
in
that.
Charleston, we have Black life everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, Black people are everywhere, and we are doing really important work.
Yeah.
But as an 18-year-old graduating from Burke High School and being immersed in a certain type of cultural environment all of my life, from pre-K to 12th grade, I knew what I knew, and I knew what I knew because of all the Black folks who poured into me.
Sure.
So, wanted to come to an HBCU, absolutely, and being a first-generation college student, thinking, how do I continue to have this experience in Charleston, but elevate that to see people who are coming from different parts of the world? So I came here to Smith.
Right.
And in coming to Smith, I was immersed in Black culture, Black excellence, Black everything. And it was taught to me over and over again that there's no question that we can do anything that we put our minds to doing.
Sure.
And we did. So when I came here, what did I do? Eventually became a resident assistant
Yes.
or advisor. Lived in honors college for a short period of time. Did student governments. Ran for Miss Johnson C. Smith University. I think I was second runner-up or so, can't remember. But everything that was sort of like politically motivated and academically driven. And then, of course, became part of the first and finest Black sorority. Okay?
Okay.
So pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Gamma Delta Chapter. And yeah, just hope that I gave back to the folks who were here and who were coming here.
Sure. So then when you left here,
Yes.
graduated,
Yes.
1996.
Yes.
Went straight up to Pittsburgh.
Went to Detroit,
You
Michigan.
went to Detroit.
Yes.
Did some things there.
I did.
Some good things there. But ultimately ended up at the University of Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
And you were in Pittsburgh for how long?
I was in Pittsburgh for 6 years. I
Okay.
was the Renee and Richard Goldman Endowed Dean of the School of Education and also a full professor there.
Okay. And then what blueprints or footsteps did you leave there?
Now that's a great question. That's a great question. So I got there, I spent 6 years there, so that was 2017, give or take, when I started there as dean. And so some of the things that we did, some of the things that I facilitated, an entire reorganization of the entire School of Education, from academic departments to programs, to thinking about the types of majors that we should have, to increasing the amount of Black and other people of color faculty population, hiring differently, revising the promotion and tenure guidelines to ensure equity and to ensure that folks who look like me have a fair opportunity to exceed and excel. Involved in rearranging our student engagement unit to elevate how we think about enrollment. We experienced a pandemic. And so when we experienced this pandemic, we had many of our students who felt the need to stay connected but remotely. But my concern at the time was, how do I ensure student success in the midst of crisis? But how do I also ensure that my faculty members, my staff members, and my alumni are healthy, are whole, and are staying connected because of all of the things happening in the world? And so we put so many things in place. We had so many resources available to people to stay connected. I increased fundraising substantially. Given a goal of raising $4 million in one fiscal year by my provost and exceeding that.
Beautiful.
And hiring people who were committed to our mission vision. One of the most important things that I think I did, and people might question this, was we created a new mission vision for the School of Education.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it because
it's always able to be tweaked.
Let me tell you, and it has to be. Because my first meeting, I remember walking into this conference room, faculty, staff, student representatives, and I said, someone tell me what the mission vision of the University of Pittsburgh School of Education is.
Silence.
Talk to me.
Silence. Oh, that's bad.
I showed it on the screen, and it was a one sentence: we prepare educational professionals to do something in the world. So after a period of time, came up with a new mission vision. I literally woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning preparing for a meeting, and I wrote this found poem. And it was a result of a few months of listening to what people said to me about what their hopes and dreams are. And so not remembering it word for word, but their new mission vision says, we ignite learning. We strive for well-being for all. We commit to student, family, and community success. We forge engaged partnerships, we cultivate relationships, we transform and disrupt inequitable educational structures. We advocate, we teach, we lead with dignity. We understand learning is intertwined with health, wellness, and human development. Basically, we're global citizens, people, and we do this work from a place of integrity and dignity because we are the School of Education at the University of Pittsburgh. I wrote this thing 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
Shared it with my staff. And I said, we need to talk strategic planning. So when I share, this is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Let's put this aside. And folks said, we need that as our mission vision. And it became the mission vision of the school.
You have to tweak it.
You have to.
You tweaked it and you made it an amazing statement.
Thank you.
Because when you hear that statement, you're like, I can do this.
I can do it.
Because if you just look at a one statement thing, you'd be like, that's not really encouraging.
Right.
But then you see words that resonate with you personally, professionally, mentally, spiritually, and you see that statement and you say, that's it right there.
And I see myself in it.
And once you see yourself in that, you can then make your plan for your path and your journey.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So then we're going to circle back. You left Pittsburgh.
I left Pittsburgh. I left Pittsburgh, y'all.
And I'm a Steelers fan. So you left Pittsburgh. Saw you in a couple of graduation pictures during my silver year, my 25th year, class of 1998. And then the announcement came out. And I'm going to thank you for cracking my phone.
Wait, what?
Because while I was at work, I think it was work, I just said, well, let me just take a break and look at Facebook. That was the first thing that popped up.
Wait, really?
Johnson C. Smith announces new president, 15th president, Dr. Valerie Kinloch, 1996. I threw my phone. So thank
where
you.
did you throw it?
I threw it against the wall because I said, no, they didn't. I said, my girl is coming home. And the first person I called was my mama. And I said, Mama, Valerie got it. She said, Valerie who? I said, Valerie Kinloch from Donovan Avenue. She said, what she get? I said, she is the president. She said, of what? I said, and I started singing, we love D. Smith with all our heart. She said, you better stop it. I said, she is number 15.
Can you believe that? I'm number 15.
Ma'am.
What?
Ma'am.
This little girl from Charleston, South Carolina.
Ma'am.
Is president of our alma mater.
Ma'am. Okay? So, you're the second.
Yes, indeed.
The first was when I was here. And she was interim when I came. And she was inaugurated when I fully got immersed at Johnson C. Smith in 95.
Now wait, she was my president, you know. Dorothy
Was she?
Yancey was my president.
She was interim for you guys, right?
Was she?
Well, when I got here, she was interim.
And you came here in 19...
4.
Okay, yes. Because I graduated in 6.
Okay, okay. So, Dr. Yancey, number 12. The first.
The first woman.
The first woman to take the helm. Amazing lady.
Yes, indeed.
Visual lady.
Yes.
Loud lady. And when I say loud, I don't mean boisterous. She makes her presence known. And she's only like, what, 5'5", 5'6". Mm-hmm. When she walks into any room,
you know she's there.
She dominates.
Yes, indeed.
She dominates easy. She dominates well. And you have nothing but respect for her. During the years I was here, they called it the Yancey years.
Yancey years.
Because
I have that book sitting on my desk.
Do you?
There's a book called The Yancey Years, and it's published all about Dorothy Kaiser Yancey.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
It's beautiful. And for her to be the first, walking on campus, going to games, CIAA, going to these other schools, going to these different corporations, getting money for us. She grew our endowment.
She did.
Amazingly. That one voice, her presence just walking into a room,
yes,
they knew she was the real deal. So now, being the second,
yes, indeed.
you make your presence known on campus, which back in the day when Dr. Yancey was here, social media wasn't as heavy and prevalent. So
I don't even think we had it.
No, we didn't. We really didn't. It was, I think MySpace was still kind of around, but we were more connective outside and seeing things like that. So if you were out on the block or in front of Greenfield or down by Bray Boy, you would see her walking or in the golf cart or seeing her Jag drive off campus or on campus or something like that. Because she kept her a fly Jag, honey. Dr. Yancey kept her a fly Jag.
Gamma Delta.
Gamma Delta woman, too.
Right.
She was seen on campus. She was heard on campus. But now in this time of social media and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and yada yada and whatever else and whoever else, you're seen all over the place. Like, you're on social media. You post things, you forward things, and then people take videos of you walking on campus, engaging with the students, talking to the students. You come to basketball games.
Absolutely.
You go to football games. You are seen. You are seen, and you are that, again, another visionary and visual presence where students can say, oh, I know my president. I saw my president. Versus other schools, They never see their president. They don't even know. The only time they see their president is at graduation.
Yes.
On a big screen.
Yes.
So that makes it a little bit more...
It's intimate.
Personable.
It's intimate. It's personal. It is... What is it that you want in the world, and how do you want people to treat you? Mm-hmm. You know, we all want to be seen.
Yeah.
And it's not, I want to be seen just because I want to be seen. I want to be seen because I'm a human being.
Correct.
And if my president doesn't see me, if my president isn't visual and visible, then why are we doing this work? Like, at the first speech and presentation I gave here at Johnson C. Smith University was in the chapel. We call it the church.
I saw that.
And it was opening school conference. Mm-hmm. And I said, we are student first at this university. And student first means that we are centering the experiences, the voices, the lives of human beings who are students, but they are human beings.
Correct.
And so when we do that, we talk, we hug, we take a moment. Even if I'm running across campus to a meeting and I see students, I'm talking to them, because we would not be here without our students. Them. So, but for our students, we do what we do in the Golden Bowls tradition of caring and cultivating and building community with and for people. And that's why I'm back here at JCSU.
Girl, you better say that.
Dorothy Kaiser Yancey sent me some flowers, okay, after I started here.
Of course.
And got this big bouquet of white, okay, flowers.
She got the Oprah flowers.
Let me tell you,
the huge big Oprah flower. Oh my
God! And these
God!
things were delivered to my office. I walked in
on a rolling thing.
Okay, yeah. No, not that much.
Not that. But she gave you the Oprah flowers.
It was lovely, beautiful.
Oh my God!
And I tell you, I walked into my office. I'm like, I know I smell good, but wow, this room smells great. She had the flowers, she had a card, and then we had a phone call, and we've been having conversations since.
That's
and
awesome.
She tells me, you got this. You need to do what you know you need to do and not what other people tell you to do.
Correct.
You have gotten this far, not because I have followed anyone, but because I have paved a way for myself and for others. But it's because of people like Dorothy Kaiser Yancey that I'm able to do what I do.
Absolutely. Because one of her famous statements that I have ever heard her say was, if you think you can run my school, come sit in my chair for a day.
Let me tell you.
And she said, I bet you wouldn't last till noon.
Wouldn't last until 10 a.m. And now I'm sitting in her chair.
You
I'm
see it
now. Let me tell you.
You see it now.
If you think you can do my job.
And when
doing
she
this job with students at the center, with faculty, with staff, with alumni, with community partners, with friends of the university. Now listen, you know this university well. But do you see this neighborhood around Johnson C. Smith and how we have gentrified?
Total.
Okay, so if you can do my job and still have an external facing reality and trying to figure out how do we move JCSU to where we need to be in conversations about economic development.
All the time.
Gentrification is happening.
All the
we
time.
cannot be left behind. And
we can't be.
You know, and Kaiser Yancey, she set it up so nicely
did.
For us to do the work our souls are meant to do.
She did.
Yes.
She did. And then with all of that, you also are human.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I am.
I had to make that assumption last night too, you know. She is human. She is human, you know.
I am.
Yes. So now you're home. You're doing the work that you're supposed to do. You even got a day for you.
Ah, yes.
You even got a day for you.
Yes, indeed.
October 6th, 2023, in Charleston, South Carolina, has been named and proclaimed as Dr. Valerie Kinloch Day.
Yes.
That was given to her last year as she was the Grand Marshal at the Burke High School homecoming parade. And the whole community came out to see her, just to get a glance, just to say hello, just to wave at her, because prior to the homecoming and after the announcement in June, media just went crazy.
Yes.
Went crazy. Social media went crazy. your classmates
Yes.
started sharing, giving congratulations. I'm sure getting text messages and calls and emails and, like you said, the flowers and the hellos, and of course, and they probably still will come for some time, because you are back in a place where people love in their hearts.
Yes, indeed.
And will fight anybody who talks bad about their school. I mean, of course, everybody fights or, you know, get mad, seriously. You know, but when you go to an HBCU,
speak that,
and you don't or never attended that HBCU, and somebody talk about it, oh, we're in the fight.
As we say in Charleston, you coming out your mouth?
You coming out your mouth real crazy?
Them boy talking about what?
Them boy talking, boy. Boy, we going. Y'all better get y'all boy. Let's go. Let's go. See how that came out there? Ooh, baby. So you said Dr. Yancey calls you, texts you, gives you words of encouragement.
Yes.
Say a few cuss words here and there, maybe.
I didn't say that, Dr. Yancey.
You know, Dr. Yancey. Well, colorful words. She says colorful words. Let's say that, colorful words. Now that you are sitting in her seat where she once sat, now that she's going from her being your president, because you walked across the stage and shook her hand.
Sure did. I just saw the picture.
You shook her hand.
Yes, indeed.
Now you are in the position where you will be shaking students' hand walking across the stage. Talk about how now, going from Dr. Yancey being the president to you being in her seat, you being that peer now.
With Dr. Yancey?
Yes.
All right, so listen, I don't know, am I really ever a peer of Dr. Yancey? I mean, she would say yes, of course, I am her peer. I would say, Dr. Yancey, I'm a Yancey baby. Always will be a Yancey baby. And so to think that I am a peer of the Dr. Dorothy Cowser Yancey, it is mind-blowing. And I'm going to say it's mind-blowing because I remember her when she came here, she was president. She stayed here for how long? She revolutionized this university. She grew our endowment. She was visible with all of our students, our faculty, our staff. You know, and if anyone doesn't like Yancey, I don't know who they are.
True.
If you don't like Dr. Yancey, there's something wrong with you.
Something is wrong.
Because Yancey is the realest of the real.
She is.
And so for me to sit here on the 4th floor of Biddle,
where she sat.
And I'm going to tell you, it's amazing. And I mean, the stakes are high because there's so many things we need to do and get done. But the thing about it is we have a blueprint. We know what it was. And now we need to envision what it should become. And that's what Yancey did for me. So for her and I to be peers, it's a blessing. It's amazing. Awesome. It's something I would not even have imagined.
Just to see her name come across your phone, probably be like, ooh, girl.
Yes.
Hey.
And I'm just like, when I text him, like, do you have a few minutes to talk? Girl, call me. What you waiting for? That type of interaction and her commitment to this university is amazing.
Still.
Yes.
Dr. Yancey was here from 1994 to 2008. And when she announced her retirement, I literally cried.
We all did.
I cried because that's the only president that I knew, because that's who I came in under, graduated, saw her multiple times after that, interacted through different HBCU activities in different states and
now
here.
She's active on social media.
And she now has a social media page. And Dr. Yancey, if you're watching, my friend request has been sitting for about a year now.
You know what?
It's been sitting for a year.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm a sit like
waiting for you.
No. I'm a wait like Section 8 on the waiting list until you get through your list and you pick who you want to pick. I still love you though. I still love you. So since you've taken the helm, you've done numerous interviews, and when I say you have blown every interview out the water, you have. I mean, from poise to answering the question to redirecting the question, to restating the question that they should have actually asked
What you meant to ask was, right?
Right. all of that. And I listened to them all, but there were a few that stuck out, and I wanted just to get some more insight from you in a more personal basis and your explanations. So one of the interviews, gentleman asked you if you were bold enough.
Oh, I remember that one. Yes, go on.
As soon as he asked the question, I said, "Oh, this gal about to get him." This gal about to get him.
Am I bold enough? What kind of, okay.
Are you bold enough to come in and make changes, meaning maybe terminations, reorganization, ruffle some feathers, things like that? And he said, what makes you bold enough? And I remember you sat up in your chair and gave him that look like, boy, look, yeah.
Look, yeah.
Don't believe.
Them boy don't know.
Right.
Clearly.
So you are bold enough.
Yes, indeed.
Because?
I'm from Charleston.
Word.
I'm from Charleston. I graduated from Burke High School and from Johnson C. Smith. Who's not bold enough? Why would I not be bold enough?
Right.
I clearly went into the world and sought opportunity. Sometimes wasn't given to me, and I made a way. Mm-hmm. And now I'm back at Johnson C. Smith. The question about being bold enough is many times layered with something else. So it's like, are you bold enough? Are you black enough? Are you smart enough? Are you really that good? It's like all of those things.
See, I didn't pull those layers back, but when you sat up in the chair, I said, oh, she about to get him.
Charleston coming out, right?
She about to get him.
Yeah, I mean, I am a black woman in the United States. Hence, I'm a black woman in the world, right?
Right.
And the question about being bold enough for whom? Like, am I bold enough for whom and for what? Like,
right.
What do you want me to be bold enough to do that you might not be doing yourself? And you're asking me to do.
True.
So I'm not going to do your work for you. But
Correct.
What I am going to do, I'm going to be bold enough to have courage to make change to systems that need to be changed. We don't want to talk about equity in this world. We don't even want to talk anymore about diversity and inclusion because those are buzzwords that cause, too many things going on because certain groups of people feel excluded.
Correct.
Well, how do you think we have felt? Since we were brought here.
All along.
And so to be bold enough, I'm too bold for some people. And I'm going to sit in that. And I'm not going to sit in it and do nothing with it. It's like we all have work to do on this earth.
Right.
And whatever that work might be, it's our opportunity to say, what is the work that I need to do? How do I do it? How do I leave society better? And if it means I am too bold, then I'm too bold for certain people, but not for myself and for other people. I want change in this world. I want equity. I want equality. I want justice. I want black people to be free. And to be bold enough means that I'm going to ask the questions that oftentimes don't get asked. Are we free? If we're not, what do we need to do to get ourselves free? Because no one else is going to free us for ourselves except for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And so, he asked if I'm too bold or if I'm bold enough. I've made changes at this university already. I've been here 5 months.
Bam. There you go. Another question that kind of made me, kind of triggered me a little bit. Because we're from Charleston.
Yes.
Segregated South. Mm-hmm. He had another gentleman asked the question of these media people, and I love media people. I got several media people friends, but they like to draw out things and try to point out things, even though you pointed it out at the beginning of the show. Being from the segregated South, you being the first to go to college, your parents didn't have the opportunities and things like that. He was talking about, did your achievements, is that a sign of you being removed from obstacles, or are they a sign or examples of how to overcome? So when I heard that question, I was like, so pretty much he's saying, you came from a black town, you went to a black high school, you were already underrated, you made these examples, you get higher education, you said you actually succeeded out of the community. So, you know, you feel that you had to leave in order to be successful? Mm-hmm. So that's how I read that. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, you redirected the question on how it needed to be asked.
Right.
And then you answered it. Mm-hmm. So in that moment, when you had to redirect it for you to answer what you answered amazingly again, tell me about that.
I don't know why people think that some of us are exceptions. We're not. Like, I'm not an exception. I'm from Charleston. I know who I'm from. I know whose I'm from. I know who I belong to. And I think there's so many times where people think if one of us, black girl or black boy, one of you make it, you're an exception. We're not exceptions. We're excellent already. We were born excellent. We were born into a world that we had our freedom, we had our cultural practices, we had everything. Mm-hmm. And something was stripped from us. Sure. But yet the thing that was never taken from us is the fact that we have always been excellent. And so instead of thinking about us as exceptions, think about us as excellent. And so that question needed to be reframed, because sometimes people will ask you the things that they want to know based on their own ideological perspectives. This is what I believe about y'all, as opposed to what is it that I should ask you that I need to learn more about from your perspective. Correct. And so, and I would say, because I'm not an exception, because there are so many other people who have come before me, who have done great work, who I look like. There are many great people who are here with me doing great work, more than I will ever do. We don't all get the limelight. And when we get the limelight, we need to share it. We need to honor the folks who have been here, who are here, and who are yet to be here. Right. And we need to be able to say, I didn't just come from Charleston on my own. I came from an entire community of people. Some of them I will never know, who root for me, who have been rooting for me, Absolutely. Who continue to root for me, Absolutely. And who are sacrificing for me to become the 15th president of JCSU when I didn't think I was going to. Right. And so how do we make sense of that? How do we say it's not about the exception? I don't even have imposter syndrome, because people have been asking me, you feel like you're an imposter? No, I'm not an imposter. I'm a black woman doing this work in the world because I'm supposed to be here. I'm going to stay here. And I will always have a community where I'm always returning to, because I never leave it. Correct. And that's the difference. Right. It's the attitude that some people might have. In order to be great, you got to leave where you're from. You got to go into someone else's world. And then eventually, when they're done with you, then you might try to come back to us. I never left Charleston. Absolutely. Like, not. I can never leave it. It's all in me. Always. And this idea that I have to be a certain kind of person, let me tell you, I am Gala Geechee all day long. It comes out whenever it comes out. I don't make apologies for it. I am who I am. And if it's not what people need or want, that's not my problem. Right. I got work to do. Right. And we do this work with each other and community with each other. So am I too bold? Whatever. Am I too good? Yeah, I'm good, but I'm not too good. Of course. I'm good, but you good. Right. And you good. All of us are good. Absolutely. And if we have that attitude when other people are asking these questions, we will understand that we have the capacity to do great work collectively in the world. Absolutely. And that's what I want for JCSU. And that's what is going to happen, regardless. I believe it. Now, the last interview I pulled from, the gentleman asked you, JCSU, of course, is a HBCU, 156 years. Yes, indeed. Produced many amazing people. Legacies come here. First-timers come here. Exchange students come here. Everybody comes here. And his question was, can you, or how can you make JCSU top tier? And of course, when I heard that question, I was like, bruh, we was top tier like long time ago. Yes. Granted, we're not on TV, and we don't have all the big endorsements and things like that. We're not
14,000 strong.
Right.
Right now, we're not. But we can be. We can get there. But for us who wear JCSU, who love thee Smith with all our heart,
To thee we e'er be true.
we are top tier.
Yes, indeed we are.
However, since you've been here, so many amazing things have been happening. The football team has had the best season that they have had in years. The basketball team is on a nice steamboat going into CIAA right now. Good standings.
Coach Joyner is only 3 or so games away
Coach
from
Joyner
his
600th win. I love Coach Joyner. Every time I see him, I gotta hug him. I gotta take a picture of him. He's like an uncle.
Yes.
Things are happening. So how, I wouldn't say top tier, how can we get in that conversation of those rankings? Not to have the hype as homecoming or anything like that, but when somebody says Johnson C. Smith, that's Charlotte. That's the Golden Bulls.
Yes.
How can we get into that conversation, or what's the pathway that you see of this new era of excellence that you've begun to get us there?
So first of all, let me just say thank you for putting into the space that phrase, a new era of excellence.
Absolutely.
I coined that after I started here because in my listening sessions, in my conversations with so many groups of people, they want even more and they're willing to be engaged. And sometimes it just takes people to be asked, what is it that you dream of? What are your hopes? What do you want to do? How do we move this forward? That's the beginning of how we get into those conversations. When we can have internal buy-in because people really believe in the place, they see themselves and they're being seen by leadership, they buy in. They believe that we can be top tier because we already are. We just haven't been telling the stories of what we do internally, about who we are, about the fact that we have internships across this city where our students are doing amazing work. The fact that our faculty are getting grants and doing great research and community engaged efforts. The fact that we have the mayor who committed to the Mayor's Racial Equity Initiative over $80 million earmarked to enhance Johnson C. Smith University. I mean, we have the Knight Foundation just secured a $250,000 grant to have representation in the West End community when we talk about economic development. So then we have an amazing board of trustees. You know, our board of trustees, we have corporate and business people, we have alumni, we have community engaged folks, and we have academic people. When you have that already in place, it's a formula for success.
Definitely.
And when we have that in place already, then we say, how do we become top tier? So first of all, we are top tier. We know we are.
Already.
Now the world needs to know, and we need to increase our visibility. We need to tell more stories about our excellence. We need to have our students front and center. We need to bring alumni back in, and we need to say, how do we re-engage you? Yes, it is important for you to give. You can give your money and your talent and your time. How do we do that work and say, this is a place where you will always be welcomed.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't take just your 15th president to do that. It takes all of us to do that.
Everybody.
And I have to have the vision that I communicate. And when you get people on board and energized, we can do anything we set our minds to.
Absolutely.
The heart is already in it.
Absolutely.
Now everyone else needs to know.
Absolutely.
Everyone else needs to know.
Absolutely. So many people don't know this. They know
what?
now.
What do they not know? What? What are you talking about?
Talking about you. Talking about you. Talking about you. This is all about you. We're talking about you. So, our wonderful Valerie, you know, we've mentioned our high school several times.
Yes.
Burke High School, 244 President Street, 29403.
That's right.
That's the only black high school in downtown Charleston.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to get that school. Everybody's trying to get the students moved out, bus somewhere else. Gentrification, of course, has begun around there. We've always been in the backyard of the Citadel ever since we've been born. And the school looks different now
Sure
versus when we were there.
Yes.
With all the buildings across the street.
Yes, indeed.
Had to run in the rain across the street with the police barricades and things like that. You start at Burke High School. Who were some of your influences? Who made a great impact for you? Now, for me, my first impact was Mr. McLeod.
I knew you were going to say Mr. McLeod. Everybody better say Mr. McLeod.
Well, no, and it's just not because Mr. McLeod he's the maestro, he's the legend. He was the band. He is the band director, and I was in the band.
That's right.
That's how I got out of my shell with marching with the band. And of course, back in the 80s, 90s, anytime you saw that blue and white uniform coming down the street, everybody came out their house. Everybody was excited. Friday nights were electrifying. It was a lot of work, though. Marching in the rain, jumping jacks.
See, I was not in the band.
Memorizing music, all that good stuff.
I was not in the band.
He was a great impact.
Yes.
Another good impact for me was Sandra Harrison, my French teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Townsend,
Yes,
my
ma'am.
math teacher.
Yes.
The now executive principal of Burke High School, Miss Swinton. Even though I didn't have any classes, she coddled me and helped me a lot out of my shyness.
That's right.
Even though people say I'm not shy. And when I was in high school, yeah, bro, I was shy. Really was shy. And very scared of my parents, too. So, all of that. Who were some of your teacher impacts through that time?
You know what? I'm gonna acknowledge that it started at James Simmons Elementary School.
Oh, we're going all the way back.
We're going all the way back to Miss Kirkland.
Oh, Miss Kirkland. Who was
We're going all the way back to first grade.
First grade.
My first
Who did
grade
I have
teacher, Miss
first grade?
Kirkland.
I had Miss Gathers.
Oh yeah, Miss Gathers.
I had Miss Gathers.
Were you at Burke? No, were you at James
James
Simmons?
Simmons,
So
yeah.
yeah, Miss Gathers. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start there, and then we go to Miss Smalls was my middle school teacher at Rivers Middle School.
Went to Rivers. She was my homeroom teacher.
English teacher.
And English teacher. She was my homeroom and my English teacher.
Then remember Miss Green, math teacher at Rivers.
Inell Green.
And then I go to Burke.
Well, you got to go back to Rivers now.
Okay, go for it.
Two other people.
Oh, Mr. Stoney. Mr.
Stoney.
Yes.
Stoney.
What you got in that closet? You got some hot pickles and hot sausages.
You selling them candy in your greenhouse. In the greenhouse. Mr. Burke.
Oh, of course.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Walter Burke.
Yes, indeed.
With his afro.
Yes, indeed. I love it.
Hey.
But then when you get to Burke, you got Mr. Gilliard, principal.
Gilly.
You got Mr. Foster, Delbert Foster.
Foster.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Dress Up all day,
All
every day.
You see my cufflinks.
His cufflinks.
Shiny shoes.
With my initials
I don't know what
on
he really
it.
did.
I don't know.
Okay.
I
But
think
he worked
Foster
there.
did he work there?
I think so.
Foster worked at Burke?
Yes.
I just thought Foster just came by.
He worked at Burke.
I had no clue.
I think. But then there is Miss Galeers, guidance counselor.
Miss Claire.
Love Miss Galeers to this day. We're still in touch. Mr. McLeod. Now, I was never in the band.
Right.
And it feels like McLeod is like family.
Yeah.
And so never was in the band, didn't really hang out in the band room.
Okay.
But McLeod was always...
Because that was off limits. That
was totally.
That was like...
I'm like, y'all special little club over there.
Yeah, if you weren't a part of the band, you couldn't walk on our grass, you couldn't walk by our building. And if you did walk past our building, you had to walk past the sidewalk.
But I was student government president.
So you were okay.
But I was sort of like... student government president, but I wasn't messing with y'all. Okay.
Right.
Be clear about that.
But because, we were a force.
That's right.
We were a force in the community. And we're still a force. We're small in numbers now, but we're still a force.
McLeod has been there 45 years.
Absolutely.
He's still there. And the building is named after him
After
now.
him, absolutely.
But I have to also say, I don't know if you remember chemistry teacher, Ms. Thompson. Really quiet at Burke High School. Tall.
She's my godmother. Margaret Thompson. You talking Miss Thomas? Margaret Thomas?
I thought it was Thompson.
Thomas. It's Thomas. Margaret Thomas.
She's your godmother.
Yes.
It's too much for y'all.
It's
Right?
way
It's
too much.
for
We
y'all.
talking family now,
Oh,
y'all.
my goodness.
We talking family now. Yeah.
I love it. So, you know, and Miss Harris. Is it Harris or Harrison?
Harrison. Miss
French
Harrison.
teacher.
French teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mr. Holmes, my homeroom teacher.
Listen.
And then remember Mr. Bell.
Super Mario brother,
Yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Holmes?
Yes,
Because
indeed.
he looks just
Yes,
like
indeed.
the black Super Mario brothers.
And then Mr. Bell.
Mr. Bell.
Was history.
He was English.
He was English.
Dr. Lanny was history and Western civilization.
That's right.
In the 500 building.
Yes, indeed. So all of those folks, you know, all of those folks are folks who I remember and who, they all encourage me, encourage all of us. Like, you don't stop doing what you're doing and do your work.
And we went to Burke. We didn't go to the academic magnet.
That's right.
At Burke.
Now, we the original.
We went to Burke. We had all our halls, the 300 halls.
Shade. You gonna throw shade at the magnet?
I am.
Ooh,
I love
really?
I love the magnet school.
What's the shade?
I have a lot of magnet school friends.
I do too.
But we went to Burke,
Yes, we did.
not academic magnet at Burke. Okay, I know I'm gonna get some calls. I'm gonna get some texts. I love
But
y'all.
she's telling the truth, y'all.
But I love y'all though. I love academic magnet. I have great friends. They were in the band with me.
You don't love no academic. You like them. You love Burke High School.
Okay. Yeah, that too. But if you don't love the Bulldogs,
Then hey,
don't go to Burke
here
High
it is.
School.
That's right.
Absolutely. So, a few more things because I know you're a very busy lady. And again, I got to get in on your calendar.
Yeah,
Which I
I'm
am so
happy.
excited. So, you will be inaugurated April
5th.
April 5th.
Yes, indeed.
As
be
the
inaugurated?
15th, you're gonna be officially.
I tried to tell them that we don't need to do this.
That's a tradition, ma'am. You have to be inaugurated. How coming into that in the next couple of months? How you feeling? Like, what are your thoughts?
Again, like, do we really have to do this and put me on a big old stage? The answer is, of course, yes.
Of course.
You know, so that's fine. I feel great. I feel great. I think it will hit me when I am in it.
Okay.
But I usually go to other people's things.
Just to see how it is.
I'm invited to everybody else's thing. I don't usually have my own thing.
Well, now you got
And I have
things.
my own thing.
Ma'am, you have things.
I do have things. I have things, y'all.
You have things.
And I have this
You were
inauguration.
the grand marshal of our homecoming.
Yes.
In Charleston. You're going to always be in the parades now.
Yes.
For homecoming here. Anytime you go to any presidential summits and conferences, you're going to be on the dais and they're going to have your name on that little placard.
I got things.
You got things, ma'am. You got things.
I got this inauguration coming up.
And
Friday,
here
April 5th.
see, and here's another thing you got.
What do I have?
Class of 2024 is going to have a rarity.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
So when I say a rarity, y'all, a true rarity. And it hit me, I'm jealous because I want this.
Not one, not two,
On their degrees.
but three. What?
When they graduate,
What?
they're going to have 3 female signatures on their degrees, and those signatures are alums
Yes, indeed.
of this school. So you have the president's signature, which is Dr. Kinloch. You have the
Secretary
of the Board of Trustees, which
Christy
is
Bryant.
Christy Bryant. And then you're going to have, as I call her, my favorite uptown girl when she was here at Johnson C. Smith, the registrar, Keisha Ramey Wilson.
Yes, indeed.
3 amazing alum who have come back
Yes.
home to nurture, cultivate, and produce are going to be on degrees
Yes.
when these students graduate in May. Okay?
Okay.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. So, and again, going back to Burke, Valerie was a very talented person. I'm not going to show any pictures. I showed her the pictures in secret. I have
Big hair.
my thing. She had her mushroom
Yes.
on the side part, side, short in the front, long in the back.
You didn't have to show the picture. You just gave it all.
I do. So I'm giving you a visual. I can't. I'm not going to incriminate you too much, but
let me see that picture. Go ahead, finish talking.
She was most talented. You're showing it. Okay, you did that. She was also. This is the one that really hits it to bring it all the way back full circle. Most likely to succeed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you were most likely to succeed.
I forgot I was. Yeah.
You and Akil.
That's the picture of me and Akil.
Yeah.
That was the most likely. Okay.
You and Andrew was something too.
We were.
You and Andrew were something too. I didn't print that one out, but you and Andrew were.
Who were we? Andrew Adams.
Andrew Adams, yes. Let's see. You and Andrew were most intellectual.
Oh my God! Look at us.
And y'all were holding the parvenu.
Wait, is that the parvenu?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Y'all are holding the parvenu.
I am so done. We were holding the parvenu.
Y'all, and that was the newspaper of the school, the parvenu. If you didn't have a parvenu, you were not in the know. Okay.
Do you know my mother remembers the parvenu when she was there?
I have some parvenu.
You have hard copies of the parvenu?
At home at my mom's house.
You do?
A few, probably like maybe 3 or 4.
Oh my goodness. I've been looking for copies of the parvenu for my mother. So we need to talk later.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap it up because I know you're a busy lady. 2 things. I want you to talk to the students of Burke High School.
Yes.
From the heart.
Yes.
Because they were very excited to see you. They didn't know who you were, but everybody else was excited to see you, and they wanted to know who this woman was. And you came into the band room and you talked to the band, you talked to a few other students, and with people trying to count Burke High School out.
Yes, indeed.
And the students that have matriculated there prior, who have been successes, or are successes, so many people,
yes.
Your brother, you, my sister, me, my mom. She didn't go to Burke High School, but
Your mom didn't go to Burke.
She taught at Burke.
She is committed.
She taught at Burke.
Love it.
She went to C.A. Brown.
That's right.
She taught at Burke. When she graduated from here, she went straight to Burke as mathematics teacher. So just take a few minutes to talk directly to the student body of Burke High School.
Burke High School. Okay, let me just say this. As we've already talked, we love Burke with everything that we have. This is the reality, and it was the reality when we were there as students. There's so many people who discredit anyone coming from Burke High School. There's so many people who discredit us. People who think Burke should not be where it is on 244 President Street, and black folks who look like us should not be going there. There's so many people who discredit us even before getting to know our first name and what we are already capable of doing. I'm here to tell you this. We are Burke High School. We will always be Burke High School. And for as many people who discredit us, there's so many more people who value us, who root for us, who cheer for us, who support us, and who already know what we are capable of doing far beyond some people's imagination. So if you are a student at Burke, if you've been a student at Burke, know this. You have to believe in yourself. And I'm going to come from the heart. You have to believe in yourself even if there are other people who don't. You have to know who you are. You have to know where you want to go, even if at times it seems as if you will not get there. You have to believe in yourself to know that if you want something that is great and productive and good in this world, that you can get there despite the odds and despite the negativity. Because look at us. And this is only an example of what you can become. I want better for you than I ever will have in this lifetime. And it starts with us believing in ourselves, giving back, and really understanding that if I can do what I'm doing, you at Burke High School can do even more than I can ever imagine. And I just want what's best for all of us. And I want us to not buy into all of the rhetoric about what we can't do. It's long-standing. It's historically based. And the reality is, people will always want us to believe what we can't do because they're not doing it themselves. So then they project onto us. You can do what you need to do, what you want to do, only if you are doing it in community with other people. We uplift everyone else, and we have to uplift ourselves.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, normally I close the show with pulling my shades down, cheersing, things like that. But I'm going to let you close out the show the very first.
This is the very first.
The very first.
The very first time someone else is going to close out your show.
Absolutely.
You handing it over to me?
I'm handing it over to you, and I want you to just give your last final words. You turned 50 in a couple of days.
Woo! Lord, y'all, I'm about to be 50.
You start a new decade. And as we say in Charleston, gal, you look good.
Thank ya.
Like Bob Nichols say, I can see you out there. Oh, you're looking good.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you the last few moments to say whatever is on your heart. Talk about donating if you want to. Just end us on a nice note.
As the bell rings, the tower.
As our beloved Biddle chimes at the 15th quarter hour, going into the hour.
That's perfect timing.
Perfect.
So first of all, thank you for always having my back, always supporting me before I even became president. Just thank you for all that you do and continue to do for people like me and for everyone else. I want to say that honestly from the heart. And you're a soror, and we know what that means. I mean, I'm just saying, and no shade to anyone else. But this is what I want to say. It's like Johnson C. Smith University, founded 156 years ago. In April of this year, we will actually be celebrating 157 years. Our Founders Day is the weekend of inauguration. We go from inauguration on Friday to our gala and awards tribute on Saturday, to our Founders Day program on Sunday, to our Board of Trustees meeting on Monday. And I'm going to say all of those things combined get us to this point. What kind of university do you want Johnson C. Smith University to continue to be? What are the things that we have to do in order to get there? And I just believe I've always given to this institution whenever I could, and I continue to do so. So we need to give. I need friends and alumni, folks who like and love this place, to give in order for us to continue doing great work. My 50th birthday is on Tuesday. I'm going to be 50, y'all.
50.
I remember when I was fresh 18, 19-year-old on the campus of Johnson C. Smith, Myers, Sanders, Liston, Carter, Duke, Berry Hall. I'm going to stop right there.
Word.
And the thing about it is, as I turn 50, we're doing this fundraiser. And I don't need gifts for myself. I am doing, if I can get people to donate, 1,000 people to donate $50. We're raising $50,000 for student scholarships, for students who might need support because they can't get over. And it's a gap scholarship fund that we're raising for. If I can get $50,000, I can get a match already for $50,000 more dollars. So I'm asking you to support, to give, but also think about giving this way. Giving is not just about money, as I said earlier. It's about your time. It's about your energy. And we got to move this university to where we know it's been and where it needs to continue to go. I'm excited to be the 15th president. We're celebrating 80 years this year for Gamma Delta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha. We have lots of great things going on. And let me say, in recognition of Gamma Lambda chapter of Delta Sigma Theta, they celebrated 80 years this past year. This is the goal. The goal is to continue to celebrate and elevate Black excellence with and for our students and with each other. And we're going to do this because we don't have a choice. We got to get this done.
Absolutely.
And I'm here for it.
And I'm here in your corner for it.
Yes.
So my two-piece family, that's it. We'll see you next time.
It's a wrap.